have a 22-year-old and an 18-year-old son. When my sons were younger, one of the things that I used to tell them about preventative measures was always wear a condom. And if you decide to be irresponsible and impregnate a girl, you're going to have to move in with her and her parents to help raise the baby. You're not going to get off scot-free living at home, still enjoying your life while she has to endure all of the responsibilities. I also told my son they don't need to sleep with every girl, and they should be wary when a girl is willing to give it up too easy without them having to do anything for it. They could be getting set up, she could have a disease, or there could be something going on emotionally bad that's happening to her, and that's her way of being liked. I explained to my son the symptoms of hypersexuality. I explained to them how girls get molested by their dads, by their brothers, by their uncles, by their stepdads. I expressed to them how girls are raped. I expressed to them how women endure certain hardships in the world, and that when a woman wants to have sex with you a little too freely, there's usually a story behind that, and you need to slow down and figure out what that story is. My sons have empathy. My sons have empathy because I've been instilling empathy into my children since they were 6, 7 years old. You can now wait for a little boy to be a man for you to then try to instill empathy in them. You have to get them at the ages where they're still developing while their minds are being formed. Because what's going to happen when your sons get to high school and they get around the other boys who have been conditioned within this patriarchal system, they are also going to raise your son. You can't control a grown man, even when that grown man came from you. You have to get your boys when they're little. You have to instill empathy into them when they're little. You have to instill compassion and kindness into them when they're little. You have to teach them sexual responsibility the same time that you give them the sex talk. The world is very comfortable exposing your sons to sexual conversations. If you take your sons to the barbershop and you leave them in there without your supervision to get their hair cut, they're hearing the most sexual conversations, the most inappropriate conversations in that barbershop. So it's up to you for you to make sure as a woman, if you want your little sons to grow up to be men with empathy, men who are kind, men who have sexual responsibility, that they can control their sexual urges, that they don't feel that they need to sow their seed all over the place without any recourse, you have to instill into them at 6, 7, 8, 9 years old to control their seed. That they don't need to sleep with every girl. That they're not special if any girl can have them. And that will teach them how to control themselves. One of my sons is a Christian, and my other son is in a committed relationship and monogamous. I'm not saying that they're the best boys or the best men, but from what I've seen, from what I've observed, from how I see that they interact with women, I'm proud of my sons.